We'll start the meeting here without him. Chad Cantrell is on speakerphone with us. So we have a pretty good quorum tonight. So we start with public comment about the agenda item. Does anybody in the public have a comment on what we're going to talk about tonight? Okay, let's move forward. I'll take a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the regular meeting on August 5th and the special meetings on August 19th.
I move that we approve the minutes as written for the regular meeting on August 5th and the preliminary budget hearing on August 19th.
Seconded.
Is that the one or is it the special council?
Well, both
Special counsel.
special counsel
Special
also.
council meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to start all over? Here we go.
Okay,
I move
one more time.
I move that we accept the minutes of the regular meeting of Plain Town Council for August 5th, 2024, and the special council meeting for August 19th, 2024.
Seconded.
It's been made motion and seconded. Do we have any discussion?
Just the one.
Yep, I will.
Perfect.
Okay, we did have a clerical error. And Lana's name appears on the regular council meeting August 5th, which that's going to be changed. So with that exception, I guess we'll take a voice vote. All approved? Aye. Nay? Okay, motion carried. Let's move on to the treasurer's report.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carried. Claims and payroll.
I move that we approve claims and payroll as presented.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for claims and payroll. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Judges report for August. Which I have. There it is. Okay, we have judge's report for August 2024. Total number of new cases, 39. Total number of pending cases, 69. Total number of disclosed cases, 71. Total number of active warrants, 114. Funds to the town of Plains for the month of August is $5,655. And we didn't have another judge's report, did we?
No, just the opposite.
Just August, okay. Okay, the mayor's report. The first item here was a reminder that we are recording these meetings, so we want to be careful to be have everything according to the decorum of rules.
Robert's Rules of Order.
Robert's Rules of Order. Okay. Second one is the Morrison Merrily contract with Olympus, the contractor, to remove the liners from the old lagoon. Olympus is supposed to get this work done by the end of October. That's the projected date. So I went out there the other day and I didn't see anything going on. So hopefully they'll get it done pretty quickly. The pool was a good success this year, after being closed for a year, having to start with a whole new crew of lifeguards and trainers. The losses were about equal to previous years. We may have some chemicals costs recuperated. They sent us some things that we didn't need, so we might get about $1,000 to $1,500 back, hopefully. The water pumped, we have 11,169,000 gallons pumped, 8,142,720 sold for a loss of 27%. This time period includes the Campbell House fire, which took around, they estimate at 750,000 gallons just poured on that fire. They watered down pretty good all night, which is a good thing. Another item the staff is looking at, we presently get our water bills in the mail to all the accounts. We are looking at a possible notification instead of sending out cardstock with the printed information on it to those who are interested. It's not across the board, but those that are interested, receiving the notification of your billing by email. Payment will be the same. Either you can send in your little email notification, which you will print off with your check, or you can come in and pay it here, or you can drop it off at the drop box, however you choose. John Lee ran some numbers on us, and it looks like if we can get approximately half of our accounts to go to the email notification, we can save around $2,000 a year in cost of postage and cardstock for the mailing portion of the bill. So that's all I have for the mayor's report. Okay, mayor's reports, officer reports, fire department, new, here. Police department. Nothing from there.
I'm just watching it.
Okay, and public works, we have nothing from public works. This unfinished business is a review of chapter 4 ordinance billing. Sorry, legal has not gotten back with us again this month. So I'll take a motion to forward that. Table it.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did, I think we did that last night, we tabled it until, but we didn't remove it from the list.
right,
Yeah, so it's already tabled, but we didn't remove it. so.
okay. So do we need another motion, or we just ignore it for that?
I think we need another motion, do we?
How do we get down this road?
Danny,
Yes.
do we need another motion?
I probably wouldn't, but doesn't hurt anything to do it as well.
Right, it's supposed to be,
I think we need to.
Are you wanting to remove it from the agenda? Is that what you're
Well, we
wanting?
didn't want to remove it, we wanted to leave it there in hopes that our attorney would
Sure.
get back to us.
this
What do
one,
you want to use?
So Chad's made a motion to table it.
yes,
Has that been seconded?
not yet.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried, it's tabled till next time. Okay, now on to our new business. The final budget. We've done the previous meetings to get the budget in order, and Kathy has given us the final budget, and tonight we are going to approve the budget. So I'll take a motion to approve the final budget for the 2024 and 2025 year.
I move that we approve the final budget for the 24-25 year.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I think we should have it,
We are
please. Okay.
gonna, on this, we have to.
Okay, no discussion. Let's have a voice vote.
Lana,
Yes.
John R.,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Chad, John S.,
Yes. If I could.
JD.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna tell you. I don't think you ever will.
That's enough. Okay, it's, we have a unanimous basically.
Yes.
So it's passed. Okay, on to the next item is the pool park. We've been thinking about renaming the pool park. It's never really had a name other than the pool park. So it's been suggested that we make it a Greg Welty Memorial Park. So we're looking for a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion that we rename the pool park or name the pool park the Greg Welty Memorial Park.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a little discussion. Are we going to get signage or something?
We just wanted to get the ball rolling first, and then we'll figure out if we're gonna do like a rock or a big sign
Oh,
or.
okay,
you know,
that's
how-
fine. Okay.
In the process.
In the process, okay, I can accept that
It'll be tastefully done.
tastefully.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So it passed. Okay, we had our water storage tank inspected. It's supposed to be inspected on a 3-year basis. The last inspection was real good. And when the fellows got done, the company that does this, Midco Diving and Marine Services, suggested that we look at entertaining locking in bids for the next 2 cycles, which will be in the year 2027 and year 2030. And in talking with our engineer and our hopes of getting a new storage tank, it's going to be off at least 1 inspection cycle on the old tank. And so by grabbing these contracts now or signing these contracts now, there'll be no upfront money, but we'll be capturing the costs at these costs rather than any escalation we might see in the future, which I guess we can pretty well guarantee that will happen.
What
So-
are the costs?
The costs are, and let's see, where is it? Anything else? There it is. On page 2. The cost for the 27 first is $4,263, and then the 2031 is a little bit higher for $5,159. And these,
5,159?
$5,159.
Did they talk about longevity in regards to that tank? Was there rust, was there?
It was really well preserved, very little problems. The diver said the cleanliness of this tank was better than he had seen so far in this year's work. So it's a good tank. It's been taken care of for a good number of years. It has lived its expected lifetime.
Yes.
So it's time to move on, and hopefully it will be a good backup after we get a new one, which will give a little capacity and help to the system, especially the fire. When we have a fire and what went on with the Campbell House, we're forced to use a lot of water and run both pumps for both wells during all that time to keep the water levels up in the existing tank. So hopefully, we will be able to further down the line have a new well in and somewhere in the future, a new tank. So,
Was the attorney with
no, yes, but these were the same contracts that they used. So,
Have we done this before, contracted ahead on that particular
I
thing?
don't know
before?
that, no.
I don't think we have.
Oh.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
But did we, like, put it out for bid with any other,
For this last time we did,
and nobody?
and these guys were the low bid,
Okay.
and even their prices projected out are lower than the bids that the other company did get. No? And these are reputable company here, this diving marine service.
So did I get
So we
that,
just thought
did I
we-
get that right, John, that these prices for the upcoming bids are even lower than what the other bids were this year?
Yes, that's good.
Oh,
So it sounds like it's been a deal, but we bring it to the council to see what. Question? Yes.
Are you proposing to encumber next year fiscal year's budget
With this item,
with a 2-year contract?
With the 2-year contract, yeah.
the
that's what we'd be doing, isn't it?
Did you budget for it in this fiscal year?
and actually, this will not go,
Not for this one. The one we did this year was in the budget.
Do you have to pay for it now, or you just?
no,
No,
So
it's
you
just over
don't pay
contract.
till
just
later.
agreeing to the contract, which will be in 2027 and 2030. So we're just looking for the thoughts from the council and what council will decide.
That's kind of a difficult situation. I think what Mr. Rowan has brought up, it without budgeting for it, we can't actually legally encumber the future budget without budgeting for it. Is
That's
what,
kind of like what happened when we were talking about the lawnmower, wanting to get, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Sort of the same,
Same
maybe
Yes.
sticky mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
Mhm.
It's like applying for a job
Well-
in Canada. You can't get a job in Canada unless you're endorsed by somebody. We can't get an endorsement unless you got a job. So basically, you can't.
I think we need to research, well, I hesitate to say anything because I won't be here at this meeting.
When do we gotta let them know?
Well, I
Sure.
don't have a firm date now,
Okay.
but we can research it more.
Yeah, we
That's why
should.
we wanted to bring it to the council now and get, let everyone know what's possible, but it's a council decision.
I think we should table it.
Question?
Can you budget a third of it?
That I don't know.
Well, we'd still be promising to put it on the next budget when we don't know. We can't project the next budget.
Exactly.
Charles,
Can you amend the budget?
we
Is that
can
possible?
do that, but we just passed it, so it'll take another council meeting.
But it could be amended.
It could be.
It could be, but is it necessary? I think,
Well, this budget is for 24-25. He's talking
Yeah.
27.
Well,
That's not
that's
even,
even
that's in the
created yet.
future, yeah.
Yeah,
so we don't need to do anything right
We can,
Something that you mentioned, John, is we're projecting that we're gonna have our new tank in possibly before the second inspection. That would,
that was a
That's one
We're
thing.
talking with the engineer and all the things that are going on there. We had hoped that that would be the case. By 2030, it should have been already done, and maybe some of us won't be here then.
Well,
I don't know.
in view of that, I think that I would make a motion to table this subject for the moment until we can investigate it a little bit further.
Okay. So do you want to make that motion? to table?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been, the motion's been and seconded to table this until next meeting, is that? Or just, how will we do that?
Next meeting, or how do you want
As long as you feel we have like 60 days, let's skip a meeting and that'll give us some time to investigate.
Okay, so till the October meeting.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Or let's see,
to?
we're in September right now already,
Could be November.
so it'd be
November
November
meeting, okay.
November meeting.
So the motion is to table it until, and investigate and bring it up again at
In November.
November meeting. And it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so it's tabled, and we'll move on to the wellness program. This has been, it was brought up at a previous meeting about employees getting involved in a wellness program that would help physically, keep everybody doing well. Did we get enough investigation? Does anybody have given us a,
That was on Joel.
that was on Joe?
Mhm.
Well, Joel didn't give me any more on that, so maybe we should just, again, wait for Joel. So I can, take a motion to table this until next month,
I move that we table the wellness program.
okay?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move this to next month's agenda. Hopefully we'll have more information at that time. We need to appoint Becky
Fields.
Field to Parks Committee. Okay, Chad has made the motion.
I'll second it.
And 9 seconds. Any discussion? You have anything to say for yourself?
Hope I can
No.
help out.
Okay,
And, do the job.
great. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Becky, you are on the Parks Committee. Yay. Okay, now we have the appointment of Bambi Wright to the Planning Board.
Aye.
And there's Bambi, yay,
I would like to,
yes.
make a motion to appoint Bambi Wright to the planning board.
Second that. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Bambi Wright to the Planning Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Not gonna make her give a speech.
Opposed? Sure,
I'm excited to help out.
great. We're glad to have you. We like people getting involved.
I will
From the
give her my planning book and stuff. Is that okay? Run it across the street.
That works.
Okay,
Yep.
we wanna,
You'll
All in
get my
favor?
stuff.
Did we,
I don't think we got that.
didn't we all in favor of Bambi for the board?
We
I
did.
didn't hear it.
I
Okay.
didn't hear any nays though. Nobody said no.
Okay. So you're all right. Okay, committee report. Administration Committee Budget Hearing.
Those minutes are removed.
Yeah,
For,
there's-
for all they were.
Okay. So that's this, okay. Moving on, Public Works, nothing for Public Works. Parks Committee? Nobody here. Planning Board? No.
Well, I'm here, but we were done with it. So,
Okay,
okay.
and the Police Commission?
We did have a meeting with Brian.
Okay. And that's it?
Well, do you want us to talk about what we talked about?
That's it.
When was your meeting?
Where?
When?
Oh, when? I have to go back and look at my calendar sometime in August. We just discussed how we can help Brian with the things he needs. We talked about what he needed to make his job a little smoother. He has a good group of people now. Most of them are post-certified now, so he was pretty excited to see that.
Great. Okay, Safety Committee and none, I guess. Any public comment? Okay, we have two, three. Okay, who wants to go first?
Mine's simple.
Okay.
The park for Greg Walke,
Yes.
just someplace we want to say in honor of.
Right.
That's all. That was the whole thing, just.
Thank you for that.
Okay, Danny?
Dan Rowan Plains, you guys appointed a new planning board member tonight. I guess I would strongly suggest that Town of Plains update their subdivision regs. To my knowledge, I came on council, I think in the January of 13, or maybe December of 12, and I don't believe they have been updated since then. State subdivision laws have changed a lot since then. They probably change every year. I would also suggest that the Town of Plains consult with a planning consultant. And certainly not casting any stones to say that there are not enough subdivisions done in Plains for the planning board to be adept in knowing planning law. And money with a consultant would be money well spent.
Okay. We have several planning board.
Do you have anything to add to that?
I
Specifically?
agree. What, are you still talking?
I guess to answer this question, I'm not advocating for any business, I'm just saying
Yeah.
there are qualified people that deal only with this, and attorneys that need to be consulted as well. It is a complicated process,
I'm sure.
and also remember, when I was mayor, I dealt with the aftermath of bad subdivisions. They are forever, essentially.
Yeah.
And the decisions you guys make on subdivision, the future town leaders will be dealing with for decades and longer. So it's important to get it right.
What I wanted to add to that, the subdivision that we just approved, go ahead with.
Mhm.
The frustration of being on the planning board with that is, at least from my perspective, is there's nothing within the planning that requires them to let you know what they're putting on the lots. And that's a big deal in terms of parking, congestion, that type of thing. So, and how I got kind of tuned up on this is when I got a call about that project before, maybe a year ago. And the guy said, I heard they're putting triplexes down there. And it's only a 3-acre parcel. And so then if you look at that, I think it's 7 things in the little cul-de-sac, or what is it, a T turnaround thing? Anyway, and besides that, they wanted to come off of the wetland, which I found objectionable. And instead of coming off of the road to the hospital, because of the children, widening Llewellyn, number one. and quite to do that, but there was just a lot. And as we got into this project, we ended up approving it. And I should have, I don't know if I voted for it or not. I was kind of upset about the whole thing, but the idea is we did not know what, and we don't to this day know what he intends to put on those lots. And we have a responsibility, I believe, to know those things. You know, come with your plan. There's no plan. All we have is plat. You know, that's it. And I kind of think if we're going to be responsible or have responsible subdivisions here forward, that we need to look at how that affects the other people who live there for however long or whatever. And I'm not pointing a finger at any one citizen. I am saying generally they will try to get as much squeezed into 3 acres as possible. And that's business. That's the business side of it. So we have to be kind of on top of that. Having gone through this particular subdivision, I'm still not happy.
Corey, you had a comment?
I was just gonna say that what we approved was just really preliminary. And
Well,
then they have to go and approve other things later, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So we're approving their subdivision,
Connie, wait a minute, let me finish.
and based on all their dimensions, they meet all of the ordinances. So maybe what Dan's saying is, maybe in the future,
Yes.
that's what needs to be changed.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, that?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
I would just say, don't want to comment on your current subdivision, I guess, unless it comes up. But remember, we went through a subdivision process with a previous developer that came to the council, and it was identified by the town engineer that they would have to have variance requests approved by town council. Remember, it was a narrower road width. They wanted a cul-de-sac that was smaller than required in your own ordinance. And then and I still can't think what you call it, but there's a depth to width ratio in your own subdivision ordinance that means it was road where you can't have flag lots. And so when you have a narrow street frontage lot that is deep, those are not allowed by your own ordinance. So it would pay to review the plans currently on the block. Because just a cursory glance, I don't think they met that standard.
Well, we do have someone reviewing it now. What is her name?
Sherry Johnson, engineering, yeah. You did send that on to her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. She called me and said, I need to see that, so
Yeah, I think we spoke for close to an hour, and then she was looking over it. And it's part of her retainer, so it's not costing the town anything up to this point. So she's gonna take a look at that.
So it's gone for technical review.
Yep.
To Sherry Johnson,
Yeah.
engineering.
You have a good resource there.
Yes.
I have a question. If we revise our ordinances in the interim, can we do that without looking vindictive or like we're controlling?
We can't for this particular,
For that
it's already been submitted.
Done.
Yeah.
I see.
It's for future.
Mhm.
It's for the future.
Okay.
Okay, Charles?
Yes, I did, I wasn't able to make the planning meeting because I had another commitment. But I did talk with an engineer from the Montana Department of Commerce Transportation and 2 national engineering groups. Their rough estimate for traffic per household is 10 a day. And if there are 30 there, that's of course 300 a day. And well, the school, we obviously, I don't as a resident want that kind of traffic going by the school. There are also the Safe Routes Initiative of the federal government that began in the early 2000s. While some of it is law and some of it are just good suggestions, but I don't know enough to sort it out, nor have I had enough time. But I completely agree with Dan. There's a lot more out there. Now, they estimated that traffic would increase by 40 cars a day. And I think originally it was 80, then it went to 40 cars a day. But this, and I have the notes of the House, National Engineering Group estimates, just a cold estimate going into something. 10 trips per day per household, 30 households, that's 300 a day, as an example. We have, I think Dan said it quite well. And by the way, as a resident, because we have to live with this, I'd rather look at what we can do so that our town is attractive. Property values, I believe, my opinion, will go down if they build these triplexes, in this town. They destroy property values. And going forward in the future, farther limits the use of energy. So long, solar energy.
Okay,
So anyway, I agree with Dan, and I think that we must do it, and I'm not worried about being embarrassing a company. No, it comes to our lifestyle.
okay. Any
Well,
other comment?
Well, just a final thought about it is, gosh, this is my last meeting, so I have so much I want to say. But one of the things is the planning's very important, and we've got to think of the big picture for long term. And so when we change this, and if Sherry's gonna work with it, but she's not really a planning person, is she? She's not.
She's good at
So
the
we really
engineering.
need a
side.
planning person. Okay, because Sherry's an engineer, but she is not like an overall subdivision person.
And there are two national groups that we can reference, ask them where we can find a planner. Also, somebody I just met who works for Department of Commerce also has access to this kind of information. I just met her a couple of days ago.
Okay,
And I'll write this up and give it to everybody.
okay. What I'd like to say is I still think I'm sorry if I'm gonna hurt people's feelings. No, I'm not, I'm really. We have got to get this town to clean up their act. It looks like a trash dump anymore. And I don't know if people's morale is down. I mean, I'm not being judgmental, accepting it. I guess the idea is that they've gotten away with it for so long. And I'm not talking about a car body. I'm talking about garbage. I'm talking, mattresses right next to me. And at some point in time, we need to start, we talked about getting letters out to people to clean up their yards. We must do that. Our property values will go down. So that's my last hurrah, because that's been for a long time.
Young lady, you had a comment?
This is the opposite.
Just-
Probably stick with that.
Just one more comment.
Okay.
Having to do something with the subdivision, not this one again in particular. Former town attorney Gephardt's advice on municipal facilities exemption is for the town not to grant them. If you do your own review, you will own any liability arising from those MFE approvals. His advice was and that is for water, wastewater, and stormwater. Those reviews, his advice was, and previously the town of Plains has done, is for those to let DEQ review them. Developers, people splitting lots, all these other things, they won't like that process as well, because it's more time consuming. And stormwater, for instance, you have to have an engineer's plan to handle stormwater. But it is, and I can't speak to the legal advice you're getting now, but that was Attorney Gephardt's advice on MFEs.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
From my understanding, the planning board looking at this as, are they doing anything outside of town ordinances. By us approving that, that's not an approval that they can start building. You guys, right, take it to the next level. So just so everybody knows, I couldn't see anything that legally we could go, no, you can't do this, because then they come back and go, well, show us. And then we're spending all kinds of money to fight something that we can't fight. That was my understanding. So my hopes was, especially the traffic thing, was that it comes down to safety. We couldn't prove that, but if enough people, especially the school, can come together and prove that that's gonna be a safety issue, I think that's where we really have teeth with that particular subdivision. So I'm hoping that we get some public involvement with that regard.
And that has been very little.
Yeah.
Right.
Has come back to the council or come back to you, to the planning group, and we have concerns. It was tepid at best. Well, we don't think it should be the many cars there. Okay, well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if the school board has looked at it anymore. I don't.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we did get something a little while ago. They were talking about a subdivision, but I don't think any of us in the school board really got into it as much as we probably should have.
They wrote a
Another
letter.
subdivision
No,
besides
it's a little.
Little Elm.
The tough part will be that the majority of the students that attend the school are outside of the town.
Yes.
That the people that would have the comment and feeling about it, are not in the town.
But on that note, it's open campus,
Sure.
so you have to think about.
So, yeah, so now we need to be, I mean, how do we get the opinion of people out of town? And involve them in the decision and the conversation about it, because that's the majority of the students that attend the school are outside city limits.
My first thought is school board. They
Yep.
would come to the school board.
And that needs to be a hot topic.
Yeah, and on the legal side of things, you know, their traffic, their estimations go basically with the flow of traffic as people drop off kids at school. They're leaving, going the same route. They're not passing by the school. They're coming home from work after school's already out. So that's part of their equation. Now, whether that's enough to suffice everyone here, I don't think it is in town, but that's how they base their models.
Not everybody works. Not everybody works those hours.
Yeah, and I think that in the last couple of years has really changed.
Yeah.
I think that figure that you came up with, I think that's a lot, and I don't do it that much. That seems a lot, but
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
and
a
as I
lot.
said, that was a general approach, and I have the site for that. When this national engineering group looks at a plan initially, their assumption is, it could be, their working assumption is, until they investigate, that they plan on 10 trips a day per house.
It's not realistic for here. It really isn't.
Well, I don't know, but it's more
Yeah.
than, I think it will be more than 40. And I gave the mayor some street diagrams and traffic flows that went along with the safe routes to school. And he sent that on to somebody. He used it and sent it on.
Okay.
There just hasn't been enough work done. And you know, I know the planning board favors part of that one-way street being made a two-way street that wouldn't go by the school, up to the entrance of the subdivision. And the company that wants to build the subdivision says, no, we don't have to do that. There's nothing. Well, it's a very safe thing to do, you know, to make that 40 feet or so two ways, and, or 50 feet or 60 feet, whatever it is. And by the way, when it connects to a state highway, then the state has to review that.
It should have come off of Kroger.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
had really lobbied for, that they didn't change it when we sent it back with notes, did we not?
we did, and
We
they
did.
basically said, no thanks.
Yeah, but
I
see,
mean-
they're kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a pound sand kind of thing.
But none of us could really figure out if that was public road or not? No one could answer that question.
Kroger?
Well,
That's where,
there's a road at the back of the hospital, right? That's what you're talking about?
And it's hospital property, right, they just have to get an easement on it.
We just have to.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I mean, the
Yeah,
nightmare that is Rittenhour and the confusion from Johnson to 200 and Johnson to Llewellyn, it's a nightmare year round, whether there's kids there or not, and people figuring out if it's a one-way or not a one-way, and to try to then put another partial one, two-way, and,
yeah, it made no
Yeah.
sense. We should have rejected it. I mean, really honestly, as I, it's kind of like around here, go along, get along, and I'm saying we can't do that anymore, or we're gonna get sued.
I was trying to think of how though. Like, how do you reject it?
Reject it because of
Based on
access.
ordinances, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
But
about.
I think the council can do it. That's what I was thinking.
Well,
I think the council has more power to do that than the planning board.
but the
Because they're
planning
going,
board-
okay, well, show me in your ordinances where it says that that's not okay.
Yeah, but the planning board brings it to the council, saying they okayed it or they didn't okay it.
I think we did with exceptions.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, we did that.
yeah.
And then we just okayed.
on this board?
It's a great time.
It's not that complicated, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that in the future, we need to have ordinances for the planning board that work. And we need to have somebody who is a planner look at them. That's all, it's just a thought,
It
okay?
sounds like it's a lot size, it's a lot size adjustment that everyone wants.
Yeah,
Minimum lot size.
to Dan's point, the ordinances being brought into the 21st century is probably a good idea.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. These are old ordinances that we're dealing with,
Yeah.
you know.
Somebody wants to head that up. On my baking schedule.
all right, any further comments?
I think there was one more question, wasn't there?
I don't know, did we have another question or?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, sure.
Woo, no stuff to follow, you guys. So my name's Nikki Erickson. I live in town, but I also am the library director. I have not been able to come to meetings before because I did some volunteer work on Monday nights usually. And so that's changed, so I'd like to start coming and being a part of the meetings. And I know you get updates from your committees and your boards, and do you have an interest over there in that the library? And I would ask if I could be having your meeting each month. I'd be happy to come and just give you a quick, promise won't gather on this quick update on what's going on over there at your building. You guys appoint board members over there, and you guys pay some of our expenses. So that's your library, and I'd like to make sure you guys know what's going on over there.
Thank you. Looking at you.
She'd like to speak first if possible.
This is all fascinating. Although maybe not after Dan.
We're gonna put down planning board.
All right, any further comments?
Something I'd like to do is, being as this is Connie's last meeting, as she's told us, I'd like to thank her for serving all these years and keeping us on our toes.
I thought there was gonna be cake.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure. I have really enjoyed it. I got on this board sort of by accident, by attending town council meetings way back in the day, and I was the only one here. And John was leaving and going to Lewistown. And they looked over and said, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Oh, 207 East Stanton Street." "Oh, you're in my ward." That's a point, Connie, and that's how I got on the council to begin with. But I found it to be a really interesting and fun thing, and I love the fight. I really do love the fight. You gotta get in there, guys. Not on everything, but if you believe in something, follow it. Yeah.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Best wishes for your
Yeah,
future.
I'm anxious to get down with the warm weather and, no grass.
Where are you moving to?
Mesquite, Nevada. Yes, I'm moving into a little townhouse where everybody takes care of everything. You just sort of.
Just go to.
Exist.
You see when you gamble, off you go.
I'm not a gambler, but it's a fun community. I lived there for 8 years, for those of you who didn't know, and I have lots of friends there. So I'm kind of going back to a good place, and it's just my health doesn't allow me to stay in the snow. My balance is bad, so it's a health-related move.
Well, hope it goes well for you.
It was.
All the best.
No ice, no shoveling snow, okay.
Well, I haven't had trouble shoveling, I always have a neighbor who shovels. So I just, it's not bad, it's the, getting the wood in from the woodshed to the wagon to inside the house, and with bad balance, it doesn't work, you know, so.
I appreciate not having to clean up my vehicle for a while before I get into it.
Well, we got started in August, and that worked before you get out there, so we'll cool off.
That's good.
Well, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved, okay.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Sorry, what's so long?